If a serial killer owned pizzeria's show animatronics were hijacked by a kid's spirit that's still salty about being shanked to death in front of a crowd of negligent parents, and the bots started smashing people's heads open to see what's inside, what would you do? In this How to Beat video, I'm gonna break down the mistakes made, what you should do, and ultimately figure out how to beat the marionette in Five Nights at Freddy's 2. It's 1982 at Freddy's. They've got carousels, boat rides, arcade games, and child abducting robots. The girl pleads with random parents for help. They're all totally unbothered, so she heads into the back rooms to save the boy herself, I guess. It's not looking good. The kid is laid out, most likely in preparation for something. Her plan, throw him over her shoulder and hurry back before all the cake is gone. If only it was so easy. The Epstein animatronic man catches up and escalates the situation from grape into a murder. She slumps over dead with a handful of kitchen knife-sized stab wounds in her back, then eerily falls down into the trapdoor before being raised back up by a stage puppet. For starters, you're a bad parent if you take your kid to a Chuck E. Cheese facility and don't watch them like a hawk. SeaWorld couldn't keep their orcas in check, and you think Freddy's can keep their furries out of the ball pit? Honestly, what was the peds plan anyway? Child goes missing at place you work at as a walking stuffed animal. I'm sure the investigation will be far and wide with lots of interesting twists. Was it another child mad that he got a bigger slice of cake? Was it a band of rednecks passing through on a hunting trip? Was it a barren woman in her mid-40s mad that her father took his own life after being laid off and committing the crime in full regalia to boot? It was certainly effective for isolating the child, but once you had him knocked out by the sink, you might as well drop the massive encumbering costume for some pantyhose. Why did you even stop to wash your hands at the sink with an unconscious kid next to you? You're getting your DNA everywhere. Haven't we learned? The isotoners do not come off until you need to make Finny some flapjacks. Once the girl was carrying your prize back to stage center, the knife is really more of a finishing move, unless you go for the trachea. The second you start shanking her mid-back, she's realistically gonna let out loud, blood-curdling screams that'll attract unwanted attention. The movie portrays her as a Jesus Christ figure taking big nasty hits with her mouth shut because she's a boss, which is stupid. She should have been screaming the whole way down the hall. Why she waited until emerging from the curtains was baffling. Nerds, the holidays are over. Trash those bags of assorted cookies your mom gave you and upgrade your ear gear with this video sponsor, the Raycon Essential Open Earbuds. And get back in the gym while fully torqued by that one song that you've had on repeat all week. I get it, your music app's AI algo hasn't fed you anything new yet. Raycon's Essential Open Earbuds are open. Unlike regular earbuds that block everything out, these sit outside your ear canal, so you can still hear what's going on around you, like everyone's jaws hitting the floor when you blow a forehead vein pushing out that last rep of 185 on bench. I use my Raycons for every gym session. They sound great, they're super light, and the multi-angular hook system keeps them locked in. Important, because I don't want to be adjusting earbuds every 5 seconds on the treadmill. I don't want bulky over-ear headphones getting knocked off when I kick the dumbbells back. And I definitely do not want a bud popping out and rolling across the gym to hide under an elliptical. Battery life is stacked at 36 hours. I've never had them die on me. That's basically 3 months of workouts without charging. The touch controls are simple and clutch for when my phone is tossed aside. I'm cradling dumbbells preset, and the song has already peaked its crescendo, or when I just need to intensify the volume. So unless you raw dog your workouts like David Goggins, grab a pair of Raycons for durable, gym-proof audio. Raycon is running a New Year's sale right now. Go to buyraycon.com/nerdopen to get 20% off site-wide. Thanks to Raycon for sponsoring this video. The local PD set up a task force to investigate the murder and attempted abduction, with questions being asked about safety and other possible accidents over recent years. It's Blackfish all over again. Wait, girl blamed for the accident? How in the hell did the local PD come to the conclusion that the girl who got stabbed to death was guilty? And how can she be guilty of an accident? Sounds like the local PD's guilty of being cut in on the trafficking ring. As expected, Fazbear denies everything. Their OG location is forced to permanently close down, which is really more of a minor setback than anything. It was already a little long in the tooth with declining attendance. Soon after, a new, bigger, better Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria experience begins construction. This is when the events of FNAF 1 happened. Watch my video on that if you're not caught up, but here's the quick and dirty. Night guard Mike Schmidt takes a job at the abandoned Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria and discovers the animatronics, Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy, are possessed by murdered children controlled by serial killer William Afton. Mike, alongside his sister and police officer Vanessa, who's Afton's daughter, stops Afton from turning Abby into another animatronic by using Abby's drawings to remind the spirits who killed them who their killer was, causing the animatronics to turn on Afton, crushing him inside his spring-lock animatronic suit. Fast forward a bit to FNAF 2, and Mike's struggling to move on with his life. Abby, well, she can't leave her animatronic friends in the past to make new, real, alive ones. Mike keeps saying he'll go repair the bots, but habitually puts it off for obvious reasons. So while Mike is out on the town, Abby, armed with her robotics class knowledge, heads back to the scene of the crime, the abandoned pizzeria, to reanimate the traumatized ghost children possessing spring-lock animatronic suits. What could go wrong? At least she left a note for Mike. She hasn't made much progress, mainly because the animatronics were thoroughly dismantled beyond repair, allegedly. For a consolation prize, Mike awards her with a leftover toy on the ground called a Faz Talker. After they leave, Spectral Scoopers, Lisa, Alex, and Rob visit the 1982 site, accompanied by new security guard Michael. Michael takes them to the stage to show off the brand new Freddy, Bonnie, and Chica. He says Foxy was involved in a failed take apart, put back together attraction and was never the same again. Lisa's recorder crackles to life, faintly picking up the old Freddy's jingle. Realizing the music is guiding her deeper into the building, like a game of hot and cold, she tells the others to split up and keep moving on while she follows the evil jelly bean trail straight into the dark backstage. In the depths under the stage, Lisa finds a music box. Exercising approximately zero survival instincts, the young fawn trots toward the snarling sound of a bobcat, aka she walks over, picks it up, and turns it off. We're gonna get so many viewers to tune in once we collect evidence of the supernatural force murdering kids like us. I mean, yeah, but ironically, you're gonna get a lot of people tuning in to read about the mysterious murders of the whole Spectral Scooper crew. Rob here's getting an EMF level 5 reading. It's such a raging clue, he slips right into the lazy river. It's okay, he's fine. It's not very deep. That would be a liability. Instead of immediately jumping out of the black water, Rob smacks his dying flashlight trying to get it to work while what sounds like a xenomorph is swimming towards him. Oh look, a marionette doll walked itself into the river. Better get out, right? Rob doesn't think so. Rob's single operational brain cell is providing the following instructions to evolution's most advanced dominant biological chassis. Light is good. Point light at bad. Bad become good. Let's see how Alex is doing. Great, that one is for all you, the cameraman never dies people. Well, Alex is dead. Michael goes to check on Lisa next. Not to help, but to satisfy his morbid curiosity. It backfires hard. That ain't Lisa anymore. That is the marionette. Michael escapes the pizzeria, turns around and eerily says, "Welcome back, Charlotte." Back home, Vanessa is trying to cycle away her problems, unsuccessfully. Visions of Daddy William Afton are really messing with her head, causing her to accidentally pull a Glock on one of her cycle mates. Knowing she has to confront her demons, her dad, Vanessa tries a little meditation. It goes about as well as she could have hoped. In it, she executes her serial killer dad in a dream and then jolts awake. Around this time, Abby receives an SOS message from Chica on her Faz Talker, asking her to come to the pizzeria. At long last, Abby's reunited with two of her best friends, Chica and Freddy, who help her with her robotics project. It's a little strange that Abby mentions to Vanessa that Chica and Freddy helped her without any additional context as to their supposed reanimation, while simultaneously trying to keep all this a secret from Mike. Naturally, Vanessa warns Mike about what Abby said, and then goes to see if the animatronics were truly back, or if this was just another child's delusion. Vanessa finds Chica, brings out the music box, and tries to talk Charlotte down from her grudge. She explains that the animatronics, including the marionette, are confined to the pizzeria by a perimeter lock, a system that drains the animatronics of power if they leave the geofenced Freddy's building, and Vanessa says she will not free her, to which the marionette replies, "Whatever, I don't need you, I have Abby." Then Superman's Vanessa. Okay, not sure what the point of this little trip was. The second she saw Chica in full form, it was time to leave. Suspicion confirmed. No reason to taunt the Charlotte marionette. And if the perimeter lock is working like you say it is, you definitely don't need to tell her that to her face. Obviously, the Charlotte marionette was gonna subdue you, either to torture you or to ransom you into releasing the perimeter lock so that she could leave the pizzeria and hurt whoever she wants to. All you did here was hand yourself over to Charlotte to be used as leverage. If we're all really that concerned about Abby visiting the pizzeria by herself, maybe try poking a hole in her bicycle tire to kill her only means of transportation. At the science fair, her teacher intentionally breaks her mini Chica because he thinks it's stupid and will embarrass his precious class reputation. So Abby races over to Freddy's to enlist the full-size Chica bot for her presentation. The problem is the perimeter lock prevents Chica from leaving. Chica, if that is her real name, instructs Abby to input the secret code word, which Abby's more than happy to do. Of course, Abby doesn't know the actual code. Vanessa does. Charlotte makes it clear that if Vanessa does not give her the code, she will kill Abby, which is a bluff. She needs Vanessa alive for the code. If she kills Abby, then Vanessa has no reason to give her the code. If Vanessa gives her the code, Charlotte has no reason to keep any of them alive. It's a stalemate. I'd honestly hit her back with a bluff. If she lets Abby go, promises not to hurt her, I'll put the code in myself. Then, as soon as Abby's clear, I tell her to take a dive in the shallow end. I'm sure her animatronic goons will torture me, but I'll just have to hope that the love interest Mike shows up with the pump. And Vanessa gives her the code. Abby and Chica call up a no-questions-asked taxi and head for the science fair. Mike visits the man who left the flyer calling Freddy a murderer. It turns out to be Charlotte's father. It is here that Mike realizes Abby went to a different Freddy's location, the one with the boat ride, the one where the animatronics are now. Before Mike leaves, Henry gives him a music box that he said he made for Charlotte when she was a baby, meant to lull her to sleep. He tells Mike to give it to Charlotte if he sees her. Right. Here I was planning to bring a shotgun and some Molotov cocktails, but sure, let's try putting your evil daughter to sleep with a music box instead. Better idea, how about you, her father, come with me and give it to her yourself? I feel like Charlotte might be a little calmer and more sympathetic if her dad is standing right there. No? Okay, thanks, asshole. No wonder your daughter turned out so horribly. Her dad's a deadbeat. Mike drives to the old location and, after finding Abby's abandoned bicycle, sneaks in through a back window. Inside, he finds the remains of the animatronics and walks right past Lisa's unconscious body. He finds Vanessa gagged and locked up in a closet. After unbinding her, she tells Mike about the music box, which had worked to keep Charlotte subdued all this time, until someone turned it off and broke the trance. Okay, seems straightforward. Find the music box, turn it on, and hopefully Charlotte goes back to sleep. Hell, We even have two now that Henry gave us another. Crank him on, set him down in front of the marionette box. Pack your bags, fellas. War's over. I'm guessing it's not gonna be that easy though, especially not with Butterfeet over here. Were it not for Vanessa pulling his dumb ass out, Mike would have repeated the same mistake that Rob did. At the control station, Vanessa tells Mike that the marionette needs Abby because it requires someone to bond with in order to move around. She also explains that the marionette is wirelessly controlling the other animatronics from here. Mike tells Vanessa to go find Charlotte and hit her with the music box, while he stays and tries to find a way to disrupt the marionette's wireless signal commanding the gang. Back at the science fair, there's some stiff competition.
Want to see what's going on inside of his head?
Abby apparently thinks nothing of this ominous statement uttered by a walking, talking 500-pound killer robot. Mr. Berg gets caught lacking while looking for his keys and gets yanked into a classroom. I guess I can't expect the teacher to display much athleticism, but come on. Hiding under a fold-up table with your big ass sticking in the air is a ridiculous move. These bots are heavy and slow. If you can draw it to one side of the room, it should be easy to juke to the other side and bolt out before it can rotate its heavy clodhoppers around.
Nothing in there at all.
Meanwhile, Freddy's out on the town at a costume cosplay street party.
Oh, seems kind of fake to me.
Really? It sure sounds, looks, and feels like something Burning Wrenches spent a year building. I mean, bro, you have no room to talk. You're wearing a folded up foam pool raft that your mom stitched an old pillowcase onto. Would you look at that? Abby won first place at the robotics contest, and all she had to do was cheat by entering a ghost-possessed robot she didn't build at all. Like, not even half a turn of a screw. Uh-oh. Looks like the Marionettes gang detected Mike enabling their trackers. In retaliation, Charlotte boots up the prototypes and targets Mike for termination. Even worse, there's no door to the control room that he can shut. He does have an animatronic headpiece which he uses to dupe one of the bots into thinking he's one of them. Stupid robot. Mike radios the tracking coordinates to Vanessa. I guess the music box plan was relegated in favor of mag dumping her glizzy into robots, and I can get behind that plan. How the hell does a full-size robot end up on her roof without her knowing? Did it just drop out of the tree like a metal raccoon? Vanessa panic swerves all over the road. Panic swerving. Always a great strategy. It's not shaken loose though. There's only one move left to make. Hit the brakes and let it fly right by. Or, in this case, hit a tree. Thank God for seatbelts and airbags. Luckily, she evades the bot long enough to get the Suburban moving again, effectively solving nothing as it's still on her roof. Let me hold my tongue, because Vanessa's next move is fast and furious. She escorts the couple away from the scene. It is a fat mistake not to double tap them both, the robots, with her pistol. She may have knocked the metaphorical wind out of them, but I would not bet that they're down for good until at least their heads and eyeballs have been riddled with 9mm holes. Not to worry, Mike finds the wireless signal setting on the computer and disables it, effectively shutting down all the animatronics before they kill him and other innocent parents. Looks like the day is saved. Oh, wait, no, the signal's rerouting and reactivating all the bots. And the marionette was hiding inside Chica, who attacks Abby. Great. Mike's now reduced to begging an empty room for the ghost-possessed robots to help his little sister. Lame. You ripped one of their heads off with your bare hands. If they can short circuit, we can kill it. Now, fixing your Charlotte marionette-possessed sister Abby, that's a tricky one. Or maybe not. You do have that music box, right? Wow, the obvious thing worked. Oh no, the gang is here. And Michael Afton, who's apparently Vanessa's brother and is puppeting the animatronics as a pseudo-marionette. I don't know. The villain tells all about his plan for mass murder and world domination using giant, easily recognizable, easily destroyable robots that trod at a breakneck speed of half a mile an hour. Alright, thank you for threatening me with deadly weapons in front of multiple witnesses. I'm just gonna pull my pistol out and kill you now. Michael's evil master plan is foiled by Abby's old friends, the OG gang. And Jeremiah.
Think you're going, Jack?
One of the ghost children tells Abby his soul is free to fly up to heaven now, but that they won't be able to hold him back any longer, and he will come back even stronger. Mike's all like, who? Oh my god, who do you think? Mike and Abby leave the house. Mike, no longer trusting Vanessa, tells her to stay away. As Mike and Abby walk off, the marionette reawakens and possesses Vanessa. Were we supposed to keep the music box wound up? First order of business for Charlotte should be smashing those music boxes. Though I suppose we could recruit Henry to construct a new one with a long-lasting battery in order to tranquilize his evil daughter. You know, if it's not too much trouble. After which, they should visit all locations and seek out every tangible physical tether to reality. Afton, the marionette, the gang, all of it should be dematerialized with intense fire, which would prevent the following from happening in the Horrors of the Inevitable FNAF 3. After the credits roll, a group of bozos show up to loot the place and find what they think is one hell of a treasure: William Afton's spring lock rabbit suit. As the group leaves to get a dolly to carry him out, his spirit takes control of the suit. A recorded message Henry left for Mike reveals Henry as William's former business partner and co-creator of the animatronics, before warning him about the marionette.
Mike, get out as fast as you can. She's coming for you.
Thanks for the cryptic, vague, not helpful in any way message. I already know about the marionette. You want to know how? Because your Charlotte marionette daughter possessed my little sister. You know the saying, this could have been an email? Yeah, this isn't one of those times. You really should be showing up in person to deliver this message, bro. And maybe try to help. Ultimately, while the spectral scoopers were mostly, a lot of death and destruction could have been avoided by simply not giving Charlotte the perimeter unlock password, justifiably executing Michael, and fully destroying the animatronics once they were down. Moral of the story? Don't let your little sister befriend dead kids trapped in Chuck E. Cheese animatronics.